Good morning, Parkside. Welcome to this week's encouragement video. Thanks for tuning in. So glad you're here. Hey, in our world today, there are so many complexities, so many stressors, so much busyness that I think it's really important whenever possible we get back to simple messages. I like to clarify things and make them simple. And here at Parkside, we've been talking a lot about this culture of discipleship. What does it look like for there to be a culture of discipleship where it's normal, it's regular, it's expected that we are growing as disciples and making other disciples? I'd like to clarify what it means for us to be growing in Christian maturity as part of our discipleship. Here's what it means. Growing in Christian maturity is becoming more like Jesus. Christian maturity equals more like Jesus. Now, remember Colossians 1, that Jesus is the image of the invisible God. Remember Romans 8:29, the whole goal of your salvation is that you would become more like Jesus. And so you can turn this into a very simple prayer today and simply say, Jesus, help me to respond like you would in each of these situations today. Jesus, help me to think like you would today. Jesus, help me to choose words like you would in this conversation today. And as he changes you from the inside out, that's growth in Christian maturity. And sometimes things get so complicated for us. We're thinking about so many different things that we need to simplify it down. You know, our staff was reading or is presently reading a book on holiness, what it is to grow in holiness. And there's a brief quote that I like to share with you. I found it helpful in thinking about this idea of simplifying. Christian maturity equals becoming more like Jesus. Here's what the author said. If somewhere down the road you forget all of the 10 commandments, or can't recall all of the fruit of the Spirit, or don't seem to remember all the particular attributes of God, you can still remember what holiness is by simply remembering the name of Jesus. Growth in Christian maturity equals becoming more like Jesus. And I trust you'll pray that prayer. Jesus, help me to become more like you today, to think more like you, to speak more like you, to see others more like you, and then watch him work in your life. Parkside, let me give you something to pray for before I sign off here. This weekend, we have 37 students going to winter camp at Twin Lakes Camp. There are 4 spots left, only 4. So if you know someone who'd like to go, if you yourself would like to go, reach out to John Malagan, ASAP. It's John C, the letter C, at parkside.org. But please pray for those students as they go, for the youth leaders as they go. Awesome opportunity for the gospel to go forward. There are many believers going. There are many unbelievers going. So please pray for our students this weekend. They leave Friday night for winter camp at Twin Lakes, and I'll be grateful for those prayers. We will see you Sunday. Parkside, I love you. Have a great week.